Okay.
And it was a movie, I want to say late 90s, early 2000s. And all I'll say is everywhere we go, people want to know. People want to know.
Oof. I wonder if you guys know that. All right, so that's going to be the first giveaway. And then I will have the details down in the description. But as usual, there are some rules to the giveaway. You have to be 18 and older. You have to be a resident of the US. You have to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the giveaway video, add a comment down below. So again, it'll be in the description. I'm not going to make it that easy for you guys. So you guys got to pay attention.
That's a good question.
Absolutely. So the next question that I have for you, kind of an easy one, but I'm sure a lot of people want to know. Can you walk us through kind of the key factors you consider when grading a coin? Like, what specific features do you look for?
Oh wow. Well, authenticity is first and foremost. I mean, that's where your head goes to first, especially with how good they're getting at tricking us. I mean, it is getting scary, and it is
For sure.
why having grading services and and why even for myself having myself at ICG where they are getting coins with or without me makes me feel better because there's an authentication expert there. Not that there wasn't before. There's a guy there named Skip who's very, very good, but at volume, I've seen it all when I was at PC, and it's we're not perfect. Nobody is.
Right.
So that's the first thing. The second thing, though, if you're really looking to learn to grade or some key points, kind of take a Morgan dollar is the best way to do it and shrink it down to any series you can. Because what you're going to do on a Morgan that's natural, where does your eye go to a Morgan? Right away.
The face,
The
the
face,
cheek.
the cheek,
Yeah.
right. And then the
Field.
strike, right?
Yeah.
And then the hot spots in the field, in front of the eye, in front of the nose, and that's the key focal point. I'd rather heavy marks be behind the head.
Right.
So really, it is just that. And if you're just sticking to like the 60, the gem unk stuff, because it does get more convoluted later, but really I just do that. I take every coin and I shrink it down. So whether it's a mercury dime, even like a 3 cent silver, like they're not, there's a lot going on, but if you really just take a minute and take a breath and go, let's pretend this is a Morgan and just shrink it. Where are the hot spots? 3 cent silver is the shield. Where's the highest point on the shield? The points in the star is the highest point in the shield. Just go from there. It's really, it's not, and then I go to the edge. People forget there's three sides to every coin.
Right.
Please look at the edge. Please look at the edge. Because people are getting clever with some edge stuff too, like soldering, filing, all that. But it really is as simple as that. Just take your favorite series that you feel comfortable with and either shrink it down or blow it up, and you're going to be able, there's tons of stuff I see on a day-to-day basis, especially with like some world stuff that, we have a world expert. He tees everything up for me to finalize, but I really go with him on a lot of it. But I still want to put a grade on it, and some of this stuff I've never seen before or I'm not super familiar with, but
Right.
I'm within half a point, as I like to say. And it's nice to kind of go back to that beginning stages of, all right, what is this 8 real cap and raise? All right, well, I'll start with the cap and kind of work my way around, and I'll look at his grade and go, oh, all right, cool. I'm like right there with him. It's
Right.
nice.
And you don't have to get into too much detail if you don't want, but do you guys like put them through a Sigma machine or anything like that, or is it all just through the eye?
Well, it's through the eye. Yeah, I mean, the eye is the best. When you at the level of a grader, your eye is always going to be your best friend. And I mean, even a Sigma, like Sigmas can catch cool stuff here and there, like the $50. What was that? The $50 gold eagle that was struck on a buffalo planchet, because those come out to like 0.9995 or something, but the buffaloes are 0.999 across. And like I think that's sold for like 15,000-20,000 or something.
Oh, wow.
But like cool things like that, a Sigma will pick up that my eye probably won't see unless I really see the waves in the field. But no, I mean, we have all that stuff, and certainly like at volume with some moderns, especially if they're just going into like genuine or just BU slabs or sample slabs. Yeah, we'll hit them with those. And if I don't have to look at them, we just need to make sure they're gold at
Right.
the end of the day.
And that kind of brings us into the next question. I think you touched on this before we started recording. Is there a particular coin or experience that stands out to you, like one where you're like, I'm just always going to remember this coin?
Ooh, there's a lot.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot. There was in 20, it must have been 2020. I was at PC, and president of PCGS, who I won't say his name just because I don't know his comfort level, but if you look it up, you can find it. He's a good friend of mine, probably one of my biggest champions. And just numismatics. As I have a lot of those, actually. I'm very lucky, but he's a good friend, a good buddy. And I get a text because I used to go in, my schedule at PC was, for me, was get in at 10, work until 6:30, FaceTime my son from 6:30 to 7, go to the gym from 7:30 to 8:30, and then back to the office until about 11:30 at night. But I get this phone call, text, everything. You got to get in here. Where are you? What are you doing? Get your ass up. And it's because there was a 33 Saint at the office.
What was it?
A 33 Saint.
Oh, okay.
And graded in the holder. He was like, they were trying to take it home, or it was going to its next location, and he wanted me to see it. And I rush in, just baseball hat on, yesterday's shirt, whatever it was, rush in, and I got to like sit down and really look at that coin. And there's just nothing, I'd never seen a 33 Saint in all my years of doing it. So it was a good one to check off the list. That or the Newman deal at NGC in 2012, 2013. You'll still see those tags floating around, but that was probably the most special collection I've ever seen. People ask, like, what was in there? Everything. I mean, this is a guy that, some of the copper that was grading, like large sense, 7+ red brown or 6 red, all that, he had them in the manila envelopes with what he paid back in like the 1940s and 50s still on there.
Nice.
And it was that was special. That was one I'll always remember being privileged to actually be able to grade that stuff.
Absolutely. So the next question that I have for you, what is your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Oh, you weren't supposed to answer it that way.
Oh,
I should have told
wait,
you.
Wait.
I should have told you about the description part.
No. Let's go movie though within that, because there's a reason. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you want to do it that way?
So there's a movie, a favorite holiday movie, you're saying?
There's a memory. Yeah, there is.
Favorite holiday movie.
Favorite holiday movie.
Okay, so for this one, guys, you have to do #holiday and then give your guess.
But it's specific too, because there's multiples. So there's hint number one. There's multiples of this specific movie, different iterations. So I'll say this: there's 3 of them, but there's one that's to me the best, and it's the original one, and I'll leave it at that.
Interesting.
And
I can't wait to get your answers.
No, you'll be, because it's the original one. But the other 2 are the more recent that everybody loves and knows about. They forget about the original.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So the next question is, what advice would you give a novice collector looking to understand a grading process better? And you could do maybe something for someone who's on a budget, and then something for someone who can afford, like expensive schooling, something like that.
I think the first thing when it comes to any novice collector, and probably something I'd really like to drive home to people that are truly just collecting, because graders and dealers, major dealers and collectors, and I will hold my hand up, we forget a lot that this is a hobby at the end of the day. And that sucks, but it is our job. It is what we do Monday through Friday, and it's how we make a living, so it's easy after a while. Don't not buy something just because it's not popular. Don't not buy or be proud of your collection just because maybe it's not for the masses. If you like corroded Indian scents, buy them, be proud of them. Like that.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest thing, is like, if you love something, collect it. Who cares if it's cheap? Like the Everyman sets, I love getting those or seeing those. You know what I'm talking about?
What is that, Everyman?
The like the PCGS registry sets. There's like the Everyman set, or what we call the poor man sets. It's like
yeah.
Poor
Yeah,
ones, right. And like really low grade stuff, or like really the lowest of the low, and even those get expensive sometimes. I think finding a Morgan and Poor 1 is probably the same price as a Morgan and 5.
Somebody was telling me that if you have a full set of that it actually hikes the price up.
But how cool is that?
Yeah.
Like that's badass.
Awesome.
But that's somebody just going, well, I'm not trying to build a gem set, because
Right.
geez, sometimes you get even some of the estimate stuff and it becomes unattainable. What I would say is if you're looking to understand grading, get into your local coin clubs. Reach out to people that you can. There's nothing wrong with one thing about ICG and me right now is I'm attainable. Like I try to reach out to people. If people call send me a message on Whatnot or an email, or they call the office to see if they can speak to me. Sometimes they get to me, and sometimes I answer. And I've just as recently as Wednesday talked to a guy for 45 minutes on the phone about the difference between 58 and 61.
Right. That's exactly how we got in contact.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's little things like that where I try to be attainable. So don't be afraid to reach out to people. Like, just the worst thing you can hear is no, or just nothing in return. But you don't know unless you at least shoot the message. And especially your local coin shops. Like, go in there, spend some time in there, ask questions, spend money. Don't just go in there and it's not a library. But pick up something, ask questions, because I guarantee the NFC here in the Orlando area, those people are fantastic. I mean, they are the best of the best, and you almost don't understand the education you're getting when you're in there, because you're just kind of going to your coin shop. But they've produced our world's graders from that shop. I mean, there are three of us that went to the major services and graded just from one coin shop, and two others that absolutely could have, but that just were doing well in the market.
And for those at home who don't know which shop that is, which one is that?
NFC Coins, Numismatic Financial Corporation, and they're in Winter Park, Florida now. They just got a new location, really pretty too.
I've been there.
Have you been to the new location?
Yeah.
I haven't been yet.
Oh, it looks like a jewelry store. It's amazing.
It's awesome. And who did you talk? I just asked, who did you talk to there?
It was a while ago. I can't remember, but the only reason they stick out in my mind is because I actually purchased my my Liberty head from them at the fun show.
Oh, cool.
My gold Liberty head. So
yeah.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, no, big. Guys. Yeah, they're how I got started. I literally owe those guys my entire career. So yeah, it's
definitely check it out. And I was gonna ask you if you have any favorite shops in the area, or kind of local.
Oh, all over, man. That's the cool part about doing what I'm doing right now, is I'm meeting all these people that have maybe known who I am, but I never get to know them. So it's been really fun. But yeah, I mean, NFC here, you can't be if you're in the Florida area. Oddly enough, International Diamond Center in Clearwater, they have 14 locations in Florida alone. Those are really good salt to the earth guys. Outside of Florida, I mean, look, you know what one is? This is a good one. In California, Great Collections, you know them? They're an auction house online. Ian, the owner of it, and found it, like, he's really great, from Australia. Out there in California, but I would say look at Great Collections as a whole. They have anything from $10 to six figures on there week in and week out, and their auction, for as far as online goes, is really great, user friendly, and it's not heritage, it's not stacks, even though there's great stuff to buy there too always. But this is a place where it's kind of like scrolling Amazon. I didn't know I wanted that until I saw it. Right. So that's a really good one. And then they're pretty good about if you call and have a question on something, actually answering and doing that. That's a good. Everything's going online now, so it's hard to say.
Right, it's true.
Wise.
If you're ever in Oviedo, my subscribers know I love Oviedo Rare Coins and Collectibles.
Okay.
One of my favorite shops. So if you ever find yourself out there, definitely check them out.
I will, yeah.
And so the next question that I have here for you, brother, says. This is actually from. I'm sorry.
Is this for the game or for?
No.
Okay.
So this was actually from one of my Coin Club members.
Okay.
They said, "How has coin grading evolved over the years, and what historical events or trends have influenced its development?"
Damn, people are good at this. How has it changed? You know, I'll say, if you send a lot of stuff into grading and you get something back that. A lot of people love to say this, oh, well, it's not grading that because, oh, the line has changed, this has changed, or, oh, they're loosening up, oh, wow, they've really tightened up. But it just has to do with your one or two orders,
right?
Or a trend that you're seeing within yourself. And a lot of people that send coins in don't look inward, they look outward. The line is pretty much this across the board. It sometimes does a little bit of that, and sometimes, like, here's a trend. At NGC, when I started, I was something that somebody said about me that, I mean, shook me to my core and bothered me for years. And now I take it as a really great compliment, being older. But they were doing a tour of the facility. I think you took a tour of the facility at one point now. They had a tour coming through of the facility of some investors or whoever, big coin shop owner guy. and came up and like introducing people. Like, oh, and this is Austin. At this point, I'm at the vintage table. This is Austin. He's because you know there's Jimmy, he's our copper and expert, and here's territorials, and this is Ken, our world guy, and this is this person, this is this person. And then he comes to me and goes, and this is Austin. He's kind of our jack of all trades, master of none guy. And I thought that was the meanest thing somebody
could have just cut it off in the first.
I just was so shell shocked at that at the time, probably 20, 21 years old. But what it meant was they would throw anything at me. Literally, I got to grade everything because they could count on me to put a thoughtful number on any coin, whether I knew what it was or not. And one trend that happened that I look back on fondly now is there was really no set line for proof sets. And I'm talking like your Kennedys, Franklins, those sets that come in the cutout packaging. And I had started this program up with this guy. He was a dealer out of Sacramento. And slowly but surely, as I was grading his coins more and more, the way he liked them, I developed the line for that while I was there that still stands to this day at pretty much all the services because I brought it over to PC with me. And as those coins flood out, that line becomes the standard. And I was doing, they would go in for conservation. My role was I couldn't touch my tier boxes, your Economy Express walkthrough, until I graded 1,000 of his coins in the morning. So that became the line because nobody else was doing them and whatever I came up with. And it was nice to have a concise line that I could teach. There was a reason for why I was calling things 7, 8, and 9. There was a reason why I was calling things cameo versus deep cameo. And it's cool to see that line still hold firm to this day. Right. It's nice. Now it's certain people come in, they have a different opinion of a spot or a toning or versus no toning, things like that. But for the most part, I think what people should understand is you may think the line's shifting and changing, but really it's just staying stagnant across.
That's one of the things that fascinates me about coin grading is obviously it's subjective.
Yes.
And you hear people online saying, I sent this coin into this one and I sent it in again, and they'll send it in 5 times until they get the grade they want. So
and sometimes you will get that grade,
right,
and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes it just takes a different eye. Sometimes it takes time. I think it's like anything really. It's any type of work. It's you revisit something down the road and you go, you know what? Actually, this, or and when you're talking 1 point apart, this is one. Actually, I will say this to this question. This is why it's good. One thing I consciously, and this goes back to grading the proofs, I will not, so as far as pricing goes on things, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you what a common date Morgan and 4 goes for. I couldn't. But there's a reason for that. When I was doing that proof set thing, I graded, and I'll let you guess this one, 1960 Franklin and proof 69 deep cameo. How much do you think? And I was grading 9s and 9 cameos, all that stuff all day, but 1960 Franklin and proof 9 deep cam. Throw a number at me.
500.
19,000. Now, when this, I know. And so this, and keep in mind, I don't know what that is now, but keep in mind, this was 2012, 2013. The person who QCs, so basically the coins come in and they go to first base, they enter their grade in the system, they go to a second base person, they enter their grade, and then they go to a finalizer. And that person will take into account the other 2 people's, or it averages out, however. But the ending, and this is for bulk, it's different. When it comes in bulk, it's one person. It gets, because it's all the same coin under a minimum grade, all that. And then it comes back in the holder and they check it and make sure they agree with the tag, the grade, everything matches, all that. Well, the guy doing our quality control, very, very good, knows pricing well. He comes up and he goes, hey, good job on this. And I'm kind of like, yeah, it's just who cares? I create thousands of those a week. Why are you bringing me this one? I thought he was messing with me, like I'd missed something on the coin. And he goes, did you look this, do you know what this is worth? And I said, no. He's look it up. And I did. And I was like, oh, okay, wow. And I will be honest, if I would have known this was a $20,000 coin, would I have still pulled the trigger? And I hated that thought. So I refuse to price grade things because I don't know the spreads. And if I don't know the spreads, that means for me and how I operate, The grade that you get is the grade the coin deserves. As far
I
as
would think that would be a benefit, but
it is, but I also understand the other side, especially in my position. That's a scary position to take as somebody who is the president of a company, because it is my ass on the line now. So but I have to hold firm and just keep my nose out of it. I hear things here and there. Obviously, if a flowing hair dollar and unk comes, like there's things that just common sense takes over. Like this is going to be expensive, but I just try and keep it to just whatever the grade is, the grade is, and I can always hang my hat on that.
I think that's a benefit because when you think about the point difference and the price difference, 1 or 2 points could be a huge increase.
I've seen it be $1 million difference before.
Right.
Like literally $1 million difference between.
And if that's in the back of your head, I could see that definitely distracting.
It's easy to be tight. It really is, because we're human. We're human, and we have that thing of like, I don't want to be the person to make this call.
Right.
I don't want to be the person, but it's not even this call. They view it as, I don't want to be the person that's going to make this mistake. And it's not a mistake. It is what it is.
Right. All right. Well, geez. So for the next giveaway, guys, this one is going to be #YUM, YUM.
Okay.
And I'll put these in the description down below. But this one is, what is your favorite food?
Oh my God.
So many, right? So many good ones.
I eat it every day, and I'm not even kidding. Multiple different items in a nice concealed, in a nice packaging.
Ooh, I feel like I know what that is.
Yeah. Multiple items in one nice concealed packaging.
Ooh, I can't wait to see these answers at the end here. Okay.
That one could be mean. I don't know. We'll leave it there. I don't know how else to describe it.
All right, so the next question that I have here, this one's actually from me, so correct me if I'm wrong. Using computers to grade coins didn't work out so well. I think they tried it back in 1991.
They've tried it a few times.
So now, when was the most recent time, do you know?
Oh gosh.
So basically the question
in my time.
The question is, now with AI developing and all this crazy stuff coming out, do you think it'll start to be implemented?
No.
No?
It can't. It's impossible. Because you can have an AI, it's silly, but it is true. You can have an AI girlfriend, but you can't have an AI relationship, right? With coins, it can track and mark and count marks, hits, but the problem is, and it can scan. So it can scan wear on a coin, but sometimes coins that have wear, it's actually stacking friction. And stacking friction, especially on gold, because it's bank to bank. Like these coins were spent, truly. And when you're stacking stuff, things flatten out. And when it scans, no matter how intelligent it gets, it can't take eye appeal into account. It can't take natural luster into account. So things that should grade out 58 and 55 that are just darkly, like seated halves, dimes, those types of things where they get that really pretty gray, blue, yellow when they get down into those more worn 62 to 53 range. They can't see through that, and ultimately we'll just call them 45 every time. And it's good. Like the technology's great. It's awesome. I don't know. We will use technology in coins somehow. I hope it's on the authentication side down the road. But as far as like genuinely grading, they're not going to be able to know why something's a 7+ versus 7. Because there's discrepancies even within a grading room about some of that stuff. So how is a computer? You'd have to be able to jump into the minds of, you'd have to scan the brains of the people looking at the coins and seeing what their tendencies are to get something that's actually accurate.
It's interesting. So if you guys are scared of AI taking over your job, get into the coin grading.
Yeah. We call that job security.
That's awesome.
And even if it's right, I still will disagree with it just out of principle.
I'm sure a lot of people out there are like me. I prefer to do things still face to face. I still prefer, talking to somebody on the phone.
That's what I said to you when I called you. I said I'd rather just get on the phone.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. So this next question is also one of mine, because some of these coins that I'm going to show you. So I did bring some coins for him to check out, guys. Let me zoom this in here. This is Morgan Carson City. I got a trade dollar, just a couple different coins, Seated Liberty. So I'm gonna give these to you, and we'll talk about those at the end.
Okay.
But the question is, how does conservation or cleaning of a coin affect its grade? Can you share any tips for collectors on preserving their coins?
Don't. Don't use soap and water. Don't. Just, in fact, there's conservation's offered at the services for a reason. It's because we are trying to protect your collection, investment, however you want to view it. We do, NGC especially, really do great stuff. And we do at ICG really good work. I'm just thinking scale wise too. But I would say I would just say don't. I would say leave it as is. And if you really want something taken off, go to your local, like an NFC would be a great place to go if you're like, I don't want to get this graded for X, Y, or Z because it's going into my Dantico album. But I'd really like this piece of PVC off here. They may tell you how to do it, like acetone and a Q-tip's great. Actually, guys, acetone's fine. But acetone on coins really just takes off that top layer. It evaporates very, very quickly. It doesn't have time to get into the pores of the coin. Q-tip and acetone, don't press, roll. Roll it, and just understand that it's not always going to come out the way you want. But if you're just trying to get like some PVC off, some of this, but unfortunately, even when you give like proper instructions to your just average person, they're going to end up scrubbing. They're going to end up, let me just really work that area, and not understanding that you're staining the coin or that you're stripping like a layer of good stuff off and it's actually turning it into a wipe now. And you get that blue. I'm sure you've seen it when you see a coin, even in a graded holder, like say a Morgan dollar in 63. And you're like, gosh, that looks like a really clean cheek. Man, this looks like a 5 almost. What? Right. But you see that blue tint when you rotate it that it'll get. It's a net grade. It's not bad enough to just outright call it clean, but now we've got to net it because somebody took it one step a little too far.
What about easiest? Yay or nay?
Yay, of course, yeah, but do it the right way. You gotta, warm water, one dip. You don't let it, you don't just leave it in there. You do it, rinse it off in the warm water, and then you have to neutralize it in basically, I do just regular tap water with a little bit of baking soda in there to help neutralize it. Dry it, pad dry, not this.
Right.
So yeah, you want to pad dry everything off, and there, like as you see, even in something simple like just dipping a Morgan, there's a lot of steps to it that not everybody, whether they're aware or not, but I think a lot of that information isn't out there because the people that have it are genuinely just trying to protect these coins at this point.
Yeah.
So
I did a video a couple months back where I cleaned a Stone Mountain $50, and everyone in the comments was like, "How dare you? How could you?"
No,
I was like, I did this for the point of the video, guys. That's why I just look for
Well, no, and you should, and if you have the knowledge, do it by all means. And like you can call me and ask me, and I can give you step by steps.
Right.
But the person watching this probably can't just call and reach out to me. So go to your local shop, ask them what they would do. And if it lines up with anything that I'm saying, go for it. But if it sounds like they're taking a major left somewhere, just pull back and send it in. I mean, really just do that because it's not expensive. It's a good service that's offered, and it's going to be done correctly.
Right. All right. So for the next question, and again, no specifics.
Okay, no specifics.
What is and this one, guys, is going to be hashtag vacay, VACA. Hashtag vacay. What is your favorite place to visit or go to for vacation?